if you look at the finished goods and the finished products, there would be a challenge. While in the marketplace there could be a plethora of brands that would come in, the fear is that this would open the floodgates of cheaper scotch. Currently, and not only scotch whiskey, it can also be there for gins. And as you read the fine print, is it also for rum? Is it also for vodka? We don't know. Right now, whatever little has come about is for whiskey and gin, ex-UK. But is it for any other spirit category? We don't know. Also, you have to understand that even currently today in India, most of the companies which are transnational or multinationals are operating. They are operating at transfer prices which are significantly lower than the prices that they transfer their goods to from the UK and sell it, say, to other countries in the EU or to the US or to UK, even India duty free. India duty free also gets it at a higher price than what the market gets it, right? So, there's a transfer price mechanism that needs to be looked at. Secondly, there are a lot of freestanding importers who also import similar brands or other brands, right? And some of them have also now launched their own Scotch whiskies at prices that are even lower than bottled in India scotches, which are primarily sold by the multinationals. And so what do you have? There is this fear that, yes, and it's a very well-founded fear, that there could be cheap imports coming in, and these will harm the premium and luxury end of Indian whiskies and Indian gins and Indian rums and vodkas, which are gaining a substantial foothold and a year-on-year growth, right? So if you see Indian single malts, they are globally acclaimed now. They're winning awards all over. The luxury malts from India, right? A lot of our members make special, blended whiskeys too, or just plain malt, a blended malt whiskey. All of them would be under some sort of a stress in the event you get these cheap imports coming in lots of quantities. You have the Goa story of gins, right? Now, if gins come in at 75%, what happens to these Indian brands, which have created the gin category over the last, decade or so, especially in the last 5 years? So what do we do about them, right? Similarly with, a 3-year-old rum or a 5-year-old rum, there are Indian companies which have launched these kind of rums, right? So what happens to these companies? Our brands, our company, our members have done it. So if I take names, you have in single malt, you have, Amrut single malt, you have Rampur, you have Indri, you have Doab, you have Crazy Cock, you have Gyanchand, right? You have, Royal Ranthambore, you have Singhasan, then you have Stranger and Sons, we have Terai, Jaisalmer, Jamun, Old Monk has, aged rum, you have Kamikara, right? So all these will come under some sort of a stress when these imported brands come in, right? Then what do we do?
But is the Indian industry, do you think, is prepared?
Sure. Indian industry, I'm sure all our members have strategies in place. It's not that, it's going to be doomsday tomorrow. No, but there will be pressure. And eventually consumer is king. So the consumer will come to know what is good, what's not so good, and they will decide. But the fact of the matter is that there will be stress, and our member companies are obviously plotting their own strategies. It's not that the UK FTA is going to be, promulgated in the next 1 month. While the Indian cabinet has cleared it, it has to go to the British Parliament. That's their system. So that could take some time. From what I read, it could take anywhere from 6 months to a year. So that gives people more than adequate time. But the fact of the matter is that one of our requests or recommendations to the government, to our nodal ministry, which is the Ministry of Food Processing Industries, as well as the Ministry of Commerce, has been to have a minimum import price, which would, especially for bottled, in origin products. So not for bulk, but for bottled in origin products. So at least that would help. because then you wouldn't get the cheaper brands coming in and you would get the right kind of brands into India. The other fear also I need to express is that this 75% from 150 to 75 and over a 10-year period to 40, which is more or less similar to what our original recommendation was. We had started with 100 for bottled in, but bulk was 75, so the government has taken 75 as a cutoff, no issues. And we had said 50 after 10 years, they've gone to 40, which is also fine. But the fact is that this will be used as a template with other countries, because the EU is on the anvil, US is happening, right? Tomorrow it could be Australia, it could be New Zealand, it could be any South American country, right? It could be other North American countries. It could be say even South Africa for that matter, or any other country which makes even wines. Now what would happen?
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.